Hey, how you doing? This is Baby Screen Queen. I hope you're doing okay this afternoon, morning, or night, depends on where you live at. Today is a special day, like my top four favorite musicals. I'm going to talk about a movie that was part of my top four favorite musicals, and that is 1997's Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, starring Brandy as Cinderella, Whitney Houston as what the fairy god I'm about to say the Mary Godmother. Oh my gosh. The fairy godmother and Paula Montalban as Prince Christopher. All right. But before I get into it, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bell button when I post up new videos, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok under the same name, Baby Screen Queen. So let's just get into it. So this is not like a typical review. I mainly cover movies that are my favorites. Mainly they old school, they classics, and some of them are new. I cover five categories: the background, the synopsis, favorite scenes, shocking moments, or what the heck moments, and what I like and dislike about the movie. So let's just get into the background of 1997's Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. 1997's Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella was released on November 2nd, 1997, directed by Robert Iscove, written by Robert L. Friedman, produced by Mike Marter and Chris Martin, with executive producers Whitney Houston, Deborah Martin Chase, Craig Zadan, Neil Moran, and David R. Ginsburg. Composed by Richard Rodgers, with production companies Walt Disney Television, Brown House Productions, and Storyline Entertainment. Now let's get into the synopsis of 1997's Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. According to IMDb, the synopsis of 1997's Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella states, although mistreated by her cruel stepmother, played by Bernadette Peters, and stepsisters Calliope, played by Vianne Cox, and Minerva, played by Natalie Desselle, Cinderella, played by Brandy, is able to attend the royal ball through the help of a fairy godmother, played by the one and only Whitney Houston. Now let's get into my favorite scenes. Impossible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage. It's possible. I love that scene. You see fairy godmother, played by Whitney Houston, just coming to Cinderella, played by Brandy, basically telling her like, hey, go to the ball, I can make it happen. You can dream and wish all you want to. Oh, such fibble fabble. Fall around, fiddly dee, fiddly fairly foodle, all the dreams in the world are cocky pop and twaddle, something like that. When the fairy godmother's trying to like get Cinderella just to go to the ball, like, just go and have fun, don't apologize for it. And it's kind of like, Cinderella was kind of like, I don't know, because if I do go, what if they like recognize me? It's not going to be fun, I'm scared. And it's just like, how if you never tried it. And then it's kind of like with her, like, she's scared of her stepmother. Okay. Cinderella, stepmother, played by Bernadette Peters, the one and only. But it's just like the fairy godmother told Cinderella about Cinderella's stepmother, and asked Cinderella, you want to know her problem is she can't handle how fabulous you are. And Cinderella was like, who, me? Fairy godmother, do you see anybody else in this room? And Cinderella was like, those are the only three that I've got. And then fairy godmother said, but this is not what your father had for you, baby. Oh, just how Whitney Houston be saying, but the song, like impossible
For a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage.
it's possible. Like, again, my voice ain't warmed up. Okay, I wish I warmed up my vocals. Therefore, white mice would never turn around horses, just fall around and fiddly of courses. It's possible. And then, fairy godmother turned the pumpkin into carriage and the mice into the horses, coachmen, what have you. And my goodness, the dress that Cinderella wore, oh, so pretty. And the hairdo, Brandy was killing it. The hair was hairing, the dress was dressing, the glass slipper was glass slippering. Is that a word? No, it's not. And then she was going to the ball. of course Cinderella was scared. It's like, you're not coming with me. It's like, no, you're gonna be on your own on this one. But as Cinderella was going to the ball, then here is Cinderella's like, it's possible.
Yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage.
Then all of a sudden, here comes the fairy godmother. Then they sung, together. And then when the fairy godmother went into the carriage, and it's possible, it's possible, it's possible, it's possible, it's possible, it's possible. That, oh, just love it. It's just like Princess and the Frog with Tiana and her father. Like, you can wish upon a star you want to, but you got to do in the work, and it takes hard work to get to your dreams. So you can wish and dream all you want to, but you got to get your butt up and make it happen, right? This is not my dream of doing this, but it was fearful, but I did it anyway. Not to be famous, it's just a hobby, but I just like to talk and feel like I want to talk. And so, but sometimes you got to put yourself out there. It's very risky again, but hey, I enjoyed it. Since 2016, even though I, did quit, but I came back. Because I want to talk about movies. That's what I love to talk about. Then reacting. Reaction is good, but I think talking about it is better. You don't get no copyright claims, a bit when you're doing a review. But I love my reacting community. I do. Okay, don't get me wrong. I just love it. It's just like, go for your dreams, and dream all you want to, but you gotta make it happen. Like, I should have made it happen. Like I said in my musical video, I should have, with the dancing, going to, dance class, Juilliard and whatnot. I should have done that because that was my dream. That was my dream. I love dancing so much, but yeah, I love that scene. So impossible. Prince Christopher and Cinderella. Okay, first, because you are beautiful at the ball. Prince didn't even know who he was dancing with. Like, I do remember you and this and that. And and then he was singing 10 minutes ago. I met you when I looked something and came through the door. And then here comes Brandy. 10 minutes ago, I saw you.
And we murmured, how do you do?
And then, in the arms of my love, I'm flying over mountains. I like it so well, and for all I can tell, I may never come down again.
I may never come down to earth again.
Yeah. And then the ballroom scene, and then they had a moment, because not Christopher, Cinderella was overwhelmed, and then Prince and Cinderella was talking, and Prince kneeled down in front of Cinderella, kind of like, is it possible that you can be yourself with someone that you really like? He said he felt strange. It's like, I feel like I'm not myself. Well, not the self that I want to be, but the self that people portray me to be. Like, basically he's saying that, like, I am myself when I'm with you, but to other people I am not, because I'm the prince. But when I'm with you, I'm just like everybody else. And she understood that. And she saying that's what's so scary. And then he was just like scary and confusing, like rolling the one. And then here he comes, just looking into her eyes, depths of her soul.
Do I love you because you're beautiful?
You cannot tell me that Brandy didn't break, because when she was looking at him, she was looking at him like, oh, I keep hitting you. She was looking at him like, oh, damn. Because at 11, I did too. And baby, oh gosh, when he got up and pulled her up as well by the hand, oh, do I want you because, excuse me, do I want you because you wonderful, or are you wonderful because I want you? And then his hand was on her cheek. Oh, you're the sweet invention of a love and sweet. Oh, you really. Oh my goodness. I wish I had two other friends, and I just like, oh my gosh. And then here comes Brandy. Maybe I'm imagining you, or maybe you're imagining me.
Am I making believe I see you?
And then he came up from behind her and held her by the shoulders, and kind of like, put his like cheek against the side of her ahead, and he's just like, caressing. Ooh, 15 babies. And then she walked away, and like, do I want you because you want? And then held out her hands, and then he takes it, and then they was singing, and he kissed the palm of her hands and then her forehead, and then he didn't want the night to end, and she didn't either. And then they held each other. It's like,
I knew the sweet invention of a lover's dream.
and then they kiss. Okay, I need to calm down. I really need to calm down. I mean, the chemistry between the princess and the really is so it's like oh, like I'm hot right now. It's like it's there. I mean, I don't know because even like years, like 20 some odd years 28 years later, like when Paulo surprised Brandy and they hugged. I mean, it's like something is there. And they did reprise their roles on one of the Descendants movie. And you can, it's like something is there. And it's like, I hope Brandy Mama didn't stop her from pursuing the relationship because Paulo and Brandy, oh my goodness, like shipping, they are forever. They are forever because the chemistry, how they playing Cinderella and the Prince, the chemistry was so up there, so up there. It was hot. 15 babies. And then the sweetest sounds when they first met. First of all, they keep on walking past each other singing the same song. I'm like, look, stop. Look at each other. Oh, but no, she was almost ran over by a carriage, and then he helped her things up, and then he looked at her like, oh my gosh, and then I didn't, and oh my gosh, the interaction, and how he walked away, how he looked at her as he was walking away, and then she was like, you can tell the stepmother was jealous. But I get into her next. But that because you are beautiful. Oh yes, you feeling in the air. You just like y'all just like get married and knock boots and have 15 babies. I was like, oh gosh, it's just so wonderful. I mean, out of all the couples in Cinderella movies, animated or not, live action, history, they are my favorite. They are my favorite. You cannot duplicate that. I don't care how many times. I like the live action one with Kate Blanchett and what have you. I do like the live action one, but even the Prince and Cinderella in that one don't hold a candle to Cinderella and Prince in Roger Hammerstein's 1997 Cinderella. They don't. I mean, it is there. You feel their love. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. When you create chemistry like that, you got to feel it. Like, ooh. I mean, it's like I want Randy and Paulo to be together. I'm not saying because like interracial relationship, no. Because even if the dude was black, I would say the same thing. I need to feel the chemistry. Something is there, and they did it, and they did. You see me stuttering, and you hear it too. And they did perform that song "Because You Are Beautiful" on Rosie O'Donnell's show, and the chemistry was there as well. He kissed her on the forehead for real, y'all. And I'm like, it's like stop it. So that is my favorite scene. Oh, and then there's many others, but that was my favorite scene. Oh, oh gosh, it's just I'm a woman. I know this is cringy, like, say, man, I can't understand a word you're saying, baby. But, when you talk about Prince and Cinderella, it's just. So that is it for my favorite scene. So let's get into my shocking and what the heck moment. Gosh, the stepmother, played by Bernadette Peters, she was getting on my nerves. The hate that she had for, I'm about to call Brandy, for Cinderella is crazy. Because now after the ball, Cinderella was talking about how she pictured being at the ball like this grand staircase and the music's playing. And then because the stepmother, when she saw who she thought like maybe was a princess, but she looks very familiar. And during that whole ball scene, the stepmother was trying to get a close up to see if she thought it is who she thought it was or maybe not. But so Cinderella broke out to the song, Lovely Night.
But on your lips you keep a kiss. All your life you'll dream of this.
The stepsisters got into it, then eventually the stepmother got into it, like, feeling that love and what have you.
Charming prince, as charming as a prince will ever be.
But it wasn't until that Cinderella came down the steps, gliding down the steps, and then when she bowed, that's when the stepmother realized, so that was her at the ball. And then she cut it short. She cut the fun short. And she was just like, just red and raving on and telling the stepsister, why you listen to her, like, why you listening to her, hanging on her every word. And the stepmother told Minerva and Calliope, played by Vianne Cox and Natalie DeSalle, to go up to their room. And then the stepmother told Cinderella, and just imagine, just to think that the prince will fall in love with you is preposterous. And then Cinderella was like, why? Why is it hard for you to imagine? And then here comes stepmother. Oh my gosh. She was like, because you're common, Cinderella. Your mother was common and so are you. Yeah, you can make up your hair and put on a fancy dress, but underneath you're still common. And just the fact that the prince would fall in love with you, well, it's laughable. Oh gosh, don't make me cry. Cinderella was crying. And then she said, my father, stepmother, cut it. Your father, filled your head with silly dreams that would never come true. And then so she went out and she cried. And fairy godmother came and just gave her a pep talk. Like, you think that the prince fell in love with your pretty braids and your pretty gown? Because Cinderella was like, why would he fall in love with me? Look at me. It's like he's in love with you because of you, not because of how you look. It's because of your charm. And you're lovable and you're caring. Even Prince's parents loved her. And basically what the godmother saying that you got to believe in yourself. So it's basically saying, how much can you take? And the thing is with that scene is like, how much can you take the abuse? Are you going to stay in that place and take the abuse for so long to a point where it diminishes your well-being? You know who you are. And my whole thing with Cinderella, they're your stepfamily. Your father did not marry that family for you to be mistreated. Stepmother's jealous because Cinderella is charming, beautiful, likable, lovable, and she's not. Yeah, the stepsisters, they are beautiful. They are funny, okay? I can't hate them as much, but they don't have they are, maybe the right man would come along, but they are funny. I mean, based on the story, they don't have the qualities like Cinderella. Beautiful women, but they don't have they don't have the same qualities as Cinderella. And stepmother she definitely don't have the qualities like Cinderella. And the stepsisters, it's kind of like you want to hate them, but you can't, because there's some moments where they appreciate Cinderella just a little bit, and they did mistreat Cinderella. But yeah, for the stepmother to say that, it's just like, but I'm glad that the fairy godmother pushed Cinderella to a point where she decided to leave. And I like how Bernadette Peters said that about that scene, because she said that she was fearful, like how people are going to perceive her and how people are going to think about this production, because it is a diverse cast. And then Cinderella is played by a black woman, and I am her playing as her stepmother as a white woman. So calling her common, and Cinderella is helping out the cleaning and all that kind of stuff. She is very aware, and at the time, I didn't think about that. I can't even speak for anybody else who are teenagers and an adult who saw that. But I guess when you see the movie, so when you watch the movie, you forget about the race, and you just saying that this stepmother needs to go. But for Bernadette to be that aware, that's awesome, because I'm like, okay, I get where she's coming from, and she's worried. And but Bernadette Peters, you good. It's like, thank you for being aware, but you were good, because honestly, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that even when I watched it still, and I never thought about that when I was 11 years old. So yeah, that was so shocking when she called Cinderella common. Like, you don't like her that much. And you trying to and even with the father, you trying to separate the relationship between Cinderella and her father, but she couldn't. But the stepmother couldn't do it. So put her down. So yeah, that was very shocking. So let's get into what I like and dislike about the movie. First of all, I want to say I like the ballroom scene, the dance scene. I've always, like I said, I always want to be a dancer. And I picture myself being one of them. I mean, you cannot get me away from the TV and just how the men would lift up the women and the kick and the twirl. Oh gosh, I always want to be one of them. Whitney Houston, the ending, the song. It now when you watch it when it first premiered, it's like ooh Lord, and then now it hits different, especially when she ascended up to the sky, and oh gosh, it's wonderful, and I like how diverse the cast was. I mean, it was ahead of his time. You never seen that. It's uncommon. Put it on Broadway on ABC, multiracial, and then to have a princess who is a black woman and a prince who is, well, let me say this again. To have a princess who was a black woman and have a prince who was an Asian man. And yes, it's historical for us black women to see a black princess for the first time on television, mainstream. But however, you get an Asian prince. You never seen that before. And it's a win for Asian men, but it's also a major win for Filipino men because Paolo Montalban is Filipino. And from what I'm gathering, let me know, to those in the Philippines, y'all were dubbed as the Forgotten Asians. Like, y'all was looked down upon. So for him to be picked, it is a win for Filipino men because they could easily get a Japanese man, a Chinese man, a South Korean man, a Vietnamese man, all they want to, but they picked a Filipino and what have you. It's kind of, because because, I mean, it's like, dang, Filipino men. It's like, yeah, it's a win for us. I mean, it is a win. You know, um, yeah, it's almost like with Selena, like she is for the Latino Hispanic community, but it's a win for in general. But for the Mexican and Mexican Americans in America, it's a win for them because that's one of their own. It's like seeing one of your own. Yes, like they're part of a community, but in this, like in a tribe, when it comes from your own tribe, it hits because they could pick, somebody else could be as famous, a Puerto Rican, singer or a Cuban singer, whatnot, but just to have that success like Selena, a Mexican American, who is Mexican and a Mexican American, is just like, wow. Um, I mean, it's just like if any of the other, like, let's just say if somebody from Nigeria, is famous, right? Yeah, it's a win for black people. But, when you have a tribe who is from Nigeria, it's like, that's, that is a win, because, yes, for us black people in general, but just to have a Nigerian actor, actress, or celebrity, what have you, it's a win. So for the Asian men, it's a win. But I know Filipino men, yes, but they picked the Filipino one, though. Bernadette Peters, love her. She was killing it. Falling in love for love is falling for make believe. Falling in love with love, it's like playing a fool. Like, yeah, I'm not fancy. You're like, oh. I see. Like, I need I need to warm up my voice, but she killed it. Lionel, poor Lionel, Jason Alexander, he did a good job. Whoopi Goldberg, Victor Garber, they did a magnificent job. And now here comes what I dislike about. It's not the movie, it's the people. Y'all need to get a grip, okay? This is Broadway on television. That lets me know that y'all never seen a Broadway play. Because anybody can play a part. It's not like movies where people like, crapping on, who's playing who when it deals with gender, race, or what have you. Broadway play is all fair and game. Y'all too busy worrying about the wrong thing. Y'all keep saying, how can a white king and a black queen have an Asian baby? Who cares? It's Broadway on television. And y'all not getting it?
It's just a movie. It's pretend. You're an adult. You should know that.
It's like, I'm so sick of that. And maybe I'm the only one that's been sick of people like talking about that. It's like, so what? Maybe maybe he's adopted. But that's my only gripe that I have, with people, say about the prince like being Asian and the parents being black and white. And it's like, forget it. Like, who cares? It's just like y'all keep talking about Michael Jackson's children. Y'all act like interracial couple cannot make white babies. I remember this black mother had the whitest baby. Looks just like his look. The baby is a daughter. Looks just like her mama. It's just like it could pass for white. It could literally pass for white. Y'all act like that. Y'all did y'all take biology? But with this one, it's like, okay, we know, duh, it's Broadway, it's a play, it's on television, yeah, what have you. But yeah, that's the only thing that I dislike about just people making like a fuss about the king and queen and their prince. Like, shouldn't it be about racial? Like, no, we're not doing this realism. We're not doing this realism. It's Broadway. Anything is all. It's all game. Anybody can play it. All right. That's why I can't take some of y'all, the movies with me, because y'all gonna be so serious watching movies. I can't deal. Okay, I'm there to watch it. If it's movies can be serious and what have you. And oh, that's just the reflection of the fan on my phone. Okay, there was a lint flying by. It's like I want to watch movies just to watch movies. If it's serious, it's serious. Even though I'm not taking it serious, but yeah, they had like subtle messages and whatnot. But I'm not like what, well. The realism is, being realistically is this and that and the third. It's like, girl, if you don't get out of that seat and go home and watch the movie on your own, because I don't want no Debbie Downer. Debbie Downer is a frowner. She goes to places to ruin faces. Debbie Downer is a frowner. You don't want to be around her. Yeah, I made that up with the help of my father. Yeah, like, I don't need you. I don't need you. Oh, just like, oh, I can't stand those people. Like, well, realistically, shut the hell up. We don't care about them realistically. We don't care about that. Shut up and watch the damn movie. Oh, what's wrong with me? It's my pet peeve. That is it for my movie review of 1997's Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. If y'all have watched this, how do y'all feel watching it? And yeah, I still giggle. It's still that nostalgia. It's very historical for me at that time when I was 11 years old. And a lot of things came out, a lot of good things came out in 97. And, so just to like see myself on screen, that's a plus. And the music is wonderful. The dance number is wonderful. I mean, everybody did a fantastic job. So I'm going to go, and I hope y'all have a lovely day, night, afternoon, depends on where you live at. So peace, love, and happiness to all of you. Stay cool. Don't be no fool. And use the tool of what? Knowledge. Deuces. Bye. Mwah. Impossible. Impossible. Yeah.